What we know about PizzaGate so far. Let's begin by going over some background, how it started. John Podesta clicked on a phishing scam email sent to him by hackers and unwittingly handed over his password to them. The hackers then handed over Podesta's emails to WikiLeaks, and they verified their authenticity before releasing them in the run-up to the 2016 US election. Who is John Podesta? John Podesta was Hillary Clinton's head of campaign during this 2016 election. He also worked closely with President Barack Obama and President Bill Clinton during their times in office. His brother, Tony Podesta, who was also involved in this scandal, was recently listed as one of Washington, D.C.'s most powerful people by GQ magazine. And here you see John Podesta with Hillary Clinton, with the Pope, with Bill Clinton, and with Obama. He's clearly someone who has a lot of influence in the political world. What happened next? Volunteers on Twitter, Reddit, and 4chan sifted through emails and uncovered some emails that looked suspicious. First signs of the suspicious activity were emails that appeared to contain some kind of code relating to pizza and other food items. Things blew up when the infamous spirit cooking email from Marina Abramovich to Tony Podesta was uncovered. I'll speak more about that later. Let's take a look at the code in the emails. The code appears to be hot dog equals boy, pizza equals girl, cheese equals little girl, pasta equals little boy, ice cream equals male prostitute, walnuts or nuts equals person of color, map equals semen, and source equals orgy. Here's a quote from one of the emails. The realtor found a handkerchief. I think it has a map that seems pizza related. So this is one of the very strange emails that appears to be coded and which first got us curious about what on earth they were talking about. And it's from Susan Sandler to John Podesta. And you can see the WikiLeaks email number at the bottom there, so you can go and look it up if you want. Do you think I'll do better playing dominoes on cheese than on pasta? Another email sent from someone from the Sandler Foundation to John Podesta in the WikiLeaks email 50332. So again, this appears to be some kind of code. I mean, would you ever say anything like this to anyone you know? Do you think I'll do better playing dominoes on cheese than on pasta? And it appears that the word dominoes perhaps means something like BDSM that involves domination. That's what we're speculating. So again, cheese means little girl and pasta means little boy. Another email, Obama spent about $65,000 flying in pizza/dogs from Chicago for a private party at the White House. When you start thinking about this doesn't make any sense at all. Who on earth would fly in pizza and hot dogs from another state? Who on earth would spend $65,000 on pizza and hot dogs? And why on earth would Obama be feeding his guests pizza and hot dogs? Wouldn't they have some kind of way fancier food that can be prepared by chefs and things there? And apparently they don't import food into the White House anyway because it's a security risk. All the food is prepared on site. So again, it does appear to be code words. Why would this even be a topic of interest in email? And if you do a search and look this email up, you'll also find that the response seemed to imply prostitution. So it does appear that these are code words for some kind of prostitution. And if we look at the code words, pizza equals girls and hot dogs equals boys. I will be sacrificing a chicken in the backyard to Moloch. Cheryl Mills emailed this to Hillary Clinton. So what's a chicken code word for? Well, in gay slang, chicken is code word for an underage boy, and Moloch is the god associated with child sacrifice. So go figure. I will be sacrificing a chicken in the backyard to Moloch. These are the kind of weird emails that first got us asking questions when we were digging through WikiLeaks. Interestingly enough, the founder of Twitter, called Jack, also seems to use similar codes and also talk about Satanism. He wrote, "Making the good pasta, reading through some amazing parts of the satanic verses. The golden threads begin to intertwine." I mean, what does this mean? Is he literally just telling us that he's making pasta while reading satanic verses? Or is this some kind of inside joke or coded message that he's sending out? He sent this in 2006. And remember again, pasta is code for little boy. So, talking about Satanism, this brings us to Marina Abramovich's invitation that she sent to Tony Podesta. So who is Marina Abramovich? She calls herself a performance artist. She's close to many celebrities and politicians. Ex-Satanists and occult experts have stated that her work is clearly inspired by Luciferian worship and Aleister Crowley, a famous Satanist's work. Her spirit cooking recipes involve consuming concoctions of bodily fluids. In one of her recipes, she instructs women to put a live fish inside their vagina overnight to prepare it for use in a love potion. This is the woman who invited Tony Podesta and John Podesta and their wives to her house to take part in spirit cooking via email. I've done an entire video on this if you'd like to watch it. It's called Spirit Cooking with the Clintons, and I'll link it below. So let's move on to the pizza restaurants. I found this posted on the WikiLeaks website. It's unclassified FBI instructions to law enforcement. Pedophilia symbols on jewelry, coins, websites, and other effects are indicative of advertisement methods used by child sexual predators to promote their cause. Pedophile activists advocate for the social acceptance of sexual relationships between adults and children. These organizations seek to decriminalize sexual relationships between adults and children and to legalize child pornography based on their belief that children have the ability to consent to sexual acts. Identical or similar jewelry and symbols as described in this intelligence bulletin should raise suspicion of possible pedophile activity while found during searches. Investigators should be attentive to pedophilia symbols advertised on websites. During examinations of computer files, investigators should be conscious of subjects who try to conceal child pornography by labeling them with symbols instead of the typical suggestive, explicit names. So why is this relevant? Well, when we look at one of the symbols supplied by the FBI, we see that it matches up pretty well with the logo of Besta Pizza. Besta Pizza, soon after we revealed this via websites like Reddit, Besta Pizza took the logo off their website, or they altered their logo, as you can see. Pedophile symbol? No pedophile symbol. Funnily enough, a restaurant just over the road from them, where Hillary Clinton has visited, as you can see, they also happen to have a pedophile symbol on their website. What an odd coincidence. So it's this big heart, big hand, big triangle, little triangle symbolism which pedophiles use to indicate to each other that this is a pedophile-friendly location, basically. And then there's another pizza restaurant opposite Terra Sol, the previous one, and here's some information about this one called Comet Ping Pong, which is also on the same street, just a couple of doors down from Besta Pizza. So it's located in Washington, D.C. It's owned by Big Cheese, LLC. Remember, cheese is a code word. Big and little is indicative of this pedophile code. Obama held a fundraiser there, as confirmed by WikiLeaks emails. John Podesta was involved in arranging a fundraiser to be held there for Hillary Clinton. It runs art shows featuring artists that depict child abuse and occult symbolism in their work. Now here's the map to show you. Comet Ping Pong is in red. You've got the place next door is owned by Big Cheese LLC as well. James Alefantis. Then next door to that you've got Besta Pizza, which also had the pedophile symbolism in the logo. Down the street from that you've got Prose, which is owned by Hillary Clinton's speechwriter. Across the street from that you've got Beyond Borders. It's a charity focused on Haiti, funded by the Clinton Foundation. And just next to that you've got Terrasol, which is where we saw the heart pedophile symbolism. Oh, and they're all about 4 minutes drive from John Podesta's house. Kinda coincidental, huh? So back to Comet Ping Pong specifically and the art exhibitions they hold. So this is some of the art from an artist that has done an exhibition at Comet Ping Pong. And this is very sick stuff, obviously. I don't really want to describe this to you in detail. I think you can see what is going on and what's being depicted. It's very concerning to just about any sane person to see something like this. And this is, again, as I said, it's one of the artists that was exhibited at Comet Ping Pong, and on this poster you see it's $10 entry, all ages welcome. And the artist, on her Flickr page, you can see that she is into occult symbolism, and this other painting by her appears to depict cannibalism. So a little bit of information about Kim Noble. Kim Noble has been diagnosed with multiple personality disorder, now called DID, dissociative identity disorder. DID can be created when children experience extreme trauma, causing their identity and the associated memories to fracture into multiple alters. These paintings are painted by one of her alters, not her normal self. It seems reasonable to speculate that Noble may have been a victim of this kind of extreme and systematic child abuse herself. Moving on to Tony Podesta's personal art collection. So first of all, we see him standing underneath this sculpture. This sculpture just so happens to be anatomically indistinguishable from one of Jeffrey Dahmer, the serial killer's victims. As you can see, they are both headless. They are both anatomically identical in every other way, to the point that it's actually ridiculous for anyone to suggest that this is not a replica. Why Tony Podesta likes having a replica of one of the serial killer's victims in his house is anybody's guess. This magazine, Washington Life, did a feature on him, and we can see various pieces of art in his house. We can also see that he actually keeps teddy bears and toys in his bedroom, despite the fact that he doesn't have any children. This is one of the pieces of art that he owns that's in his living room. This is another piece, and I just want to point out that it appears that they're a group of children lying at the bottom of an empty swimming pool. And I don't want to get into speculating too much, but I just want to point out that swimming pools are an easy place to hose down after, for example, killing someone in them. So this could be a kill room, so to speak. And here we have another one of the pictures that he owns and is in his living room, which to me appears to be two dead bodies of young girls in a pond. They don't appear to be alive to me. So you have to ask yourself what kind of person would have this kind of artwork in their living room. Just moving on, this is another painting by the same artist. Again, it appears to me that this is a dead body of a girl lying in a pond. Again, by the same artist as the pictures that Tony Podesta owns. Just some very disturbing images of children who are being strung up. And here again by the same artist that Tony Podesta is a fan of, children in their underwear. Who on earth would want to buy this kind of art? I don't know. The occult connection to child abuse. People kind of laugh about this idea that Satanism and child abuse are connected, and they dismiss it. But it does happen. You know, there are actual black masses with sacrifices. In this particular case, it was of animals. But if you look at satanic holidays, it's routine for them to list sexual rituals that involve children, and also animal and human sacrifice. And now I want to show you a short clip from a video of a girl who claims that she was used in these kind of sacrifices.
He was called Lucifer.
What did they say about the devil?
That killing the people made him happy.
Do you dismiss that as a child's fantasy, or do you take it seriously?
Well, as a policeman and as a father, I obviously take it very seriously. Very seriously indeed.
Crime Intelligence Officer, Sergeant Alan Barwick.
Do you believe Teresa?
Yes, I do.
What would happen to the fetuses, the unborn babies?
They used to be taken away most of the time, and one time baby was taken out of me and then killed in front of me.
And then?
They would eat it.
Teresa told me that she was forced to eat her own fetus. Does that surprise you?
No.
Why not?
There's information at hand that we believe that has happened before in this country.
We already know, for a fact, that there are worldwide child abuse scandals involving the elites of every country. For example, in Britain recently, a guy called Jimmy Savile, who was knighted by the Queen, he raped probably hundreds of children. He also raped dead bodies. And this man was on television, like on a weekly basis at minimum. He was praised by the press for being so charitable. He used to visit children's hospitals all the time and donate a lot of money to them. Turned out he was raping the kids, but we only found that out after he died. He's also very close with the royal family. You can just go and Google UK paedophilia scandal. Westminster is our version of Washington DC. I haven't even looked into this deeply, but I know just from looking at the surface that it's a rat's nest. The police keep losing the evidence. They're all covering for each other. It appears that a lot of our politicians and even some of our previous prime ministers were involved in paedophile scandals and soliciting underage prostitutes, that kind of thing. And now it's coming out in the US as well, you know, and I'm getting messages from people saying, yes, this is happening in France, yes, this is happening in, you know, countries across Europe as well. Of course, it's also happening in third world countries. I mean, that just kind of goes without saying. So it really appears to be happening everywhere. British celebrities and politicians among over 1,400 suspected in child sex abuse scandal. Green Party in Germany to investigate backing for pedophiles in the 80s. Flight logs show Bill Clinton flew on sex offenders' jet much more than previously known. You know, this is like systemic. It's just a repeated pattern, and it's not going away. You know, this is stuff that's been going on over decades, and it's just been covered up. And now that we are here, you know, on the internet, independent researchers are able to actually investigate and bring up these topics. And we just have to hope, you know, that someone in law enforcement, someone in the FBI is actually going to do something about it. So is Obama involved? He held a fundraiser at Comet Ping Pong. John Podesta worked closely with him. Obama had a cut on his middle finger as instructed by a spirit cooking recipe. Obama knowingly communicated with Hillary Clinton via her unsecured email server, then covered for her and supported her. Ergo, it's likely that he participated. And here's Obama at Comet Ping Pong. So here's the case of Madeleine McCann and the suspects wanted by police in Europe. So, Madeleine McCann, she went missing May 3rd, 2007. Her parents reported that she was sleeping in a vacation apartment in Portugal with her siblings while they ate at a restaurant across the street. She was 3 years old when she went missing. At one point, police suspected parental involvement in her disappearance, but they were later cleared. What we know about the possible Podesta involvement. Tony Podesta is known for going on Herculean trips to Europe. John Podesta has travelled to Portugal. John Podesta's emails from just before and on the day that McCann went missing are not available on WikiLeaks. The graphics created by police experts of the suspects wanted in connection to this case are a clear match to John and Tony Podesta. If you actually zoom in to these images, as other people have done, there's actually even a mole that's on top of his eyebrow, Tony Podesta's eyebrow, in both photos of Tony Podesta and also in this computer-generated image created by police. And yes, these are real sketches. You can find them on the Guardian website. They were released by Metropolitan Police in London. Why aren't the FBI investigating this? It appears that various intelligence and law enforcement agencies have been compromised both inside and outside the US. All we can hope for is that the good guys inside these agencies will work with Trump to drain the swamp. We must keep pushing the PizzaGate discoveries on social media so that the people involved are held accountable. The guy you see here, head of the FBI, as everyone basically who doesn't have their head in the sand knows, this guy basically just repeatedly cleared Clinton and her associates for everything that they did wrong. Like, he'd just be like, oh yeah, they did that wrong, but we're not going to charge him for it. At this point, the faith in the FBI is running very, very low. Like a 6% approval rating from the people on PizzaGate on Twitter. I just wanted to play this quick video for you as well to show that the Pentagon has failed to investigate child porn leads for suspects in the military. Same thing as what happens in England, for example. The people who are supposed to be investigating, they just turn a blind eye. FBI just turn a blind eye. CIA just turn a blind eye.
Keeping them honest tonight, potentially hundreds of military employees and contractors who may have bought child pornography online but haven't been prosecuted or even in some cases investigated. That's right, you heard me, child pornography. As many as 1,700 names, according to a U.S. Senator, on a list of 5,200 from an internet sting operation overlooked the first time around 4 years ago.
Why are none of them investigating this the way they should be? And this CNN report, I believe, is from 2011. So remember, Pizzagate is not a historical event. This abuse is ongoing. If we don't put a stop to this, more children are going to face the fate that so many have already. So I just want to say thank you to thousands of volunteers who are doing the jobs that the mainstream media and the FBI should be doing. You know, you're doing an awesome job. At least we've got the mainstream media to mention some of this stuff, even if they've been dismissive of it. Please share this video using the hashtag Pizzagate. Share